Welcome to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. I am Josh May.
I'm Katie Arnold.
I am Leah Hills.
And I'm Ross Bacon.
And we are four of the Make Group Realtors with RE/MAX of Grand Rapids, bringing you another episode today. I'm excited about this. Local coffee shops. Now, I got to tell you guys, I know you guys are all coffee lovers, but I was looking at this list and I was thinking to myself, you know, if I'm not from Grand Rapids and I really like coffee, it's like, where do you start? Like, if you go to a big city, like, where do you start? I mean, does anybody have any opinion on that?
I mean, I think most people would go to like the big chains and, you know, they choose to go to Starbucks.
But that's because they know what they're going to get. It's the same thing they can get back home. It's the same thing they can get across the country. It's the same thing they could get around the world.
Okay. Well, if you live in Grand Rapids, we're going to give you an opportunity to get the same thing anytime you want at each of these unique local places in the city. It's not going to be a Starbucks. It's not going to be a Big B. It's going to be local. Yeah. So let's chat about it. Who wants to kick us off today?
I'm going to kick this one off. Okay. You know, I think one thing that's kind of cool, especially with coffee lovers, is, you know, if you're visiting a new city, it's always kind of fun to try the local coffee shop, you know, and be a local roaster too. So knowing that the beans and everything's sourced and not sourced, but made here in the area, you know, I think the top that comes to mind is Madcap Coffee. You know, anybody visiting from out of town, it's kind of hard to avoid that name if you're trying to search for a good cup of coffee. You know, there's multiple locations and there's actually coffee shops around town that carry and serve Madcap Coffee. I'm talking specifically the Madcap Coffee where they do the roasting right there in Midtown. It's right there on Fulton and Diamond area. Just a great vibe, really cool coffee shop. You know, they have the garage doors that open up so it's indoor, outdoor seating, and, you know, playing great music, and it's really fun to just kind of sit there, watch the traffic go by, people walking out and about. And they do a great job with the actual drinks made to order as well. So it's not just straight black drip coffee. They have a wide variety of teas and everything else too. So that, I would say Madcap in that location is probably one of my favorites.
It's always a good vibe too, right? You always see people hanging around, getting some work done. Gives you a little
great meeting place.
Gives you a little extra energy after that caffeine.
I was living in Detroit, and I know this isn't Grand Rapids, but I was super excited when downtown Detroit got a Madcap. I was really geeked. I was like, look at Grand Rapids.
Nice.
Here we go.
Not to a bigger city, but yes, that was, I love that. Yes, that was great.
All right. So Katie, why don't you take over? What do you got?
Well, I'm excited to talk about Squib. Coffee is one of my favorite things. As you guys know, being a part of the team, I live for a good cup of coffee, and Squib is such a cool place. They actually have two different locations. There's the Rise plus Squib location that's over on Fulton. So they've teamed up with Rise Authentic Bakery, which I love Rise Authentic Bakery and all of their vegan and gluten-free treats. I can go in there and I can eat anything on the menu. So it just makes my day. And then I can get a good cup of coffee. But then there's also the coffee and wine bar on Wealthy Street. And if you guys haven't been there, what a cool place to go. You can go in the morning and get your cup of coffee. You could stay and work for a couple hours. And then you could come back later for happy hour and have like a glass of wine and at charcuterie board with your friends. Like, it's such a cool place. Have you guys been?
I have not had the wine there, but I would say the Cafe Miel is probably my favorite in town. It's there. I almost said Squib, but I do know the name. Yes, I have been there. It's a great spot. And that's probably one of my go-to if I needed to sit down and work for a little bit and knock some work out. That's a good spot. Show up early though, because there's not a whole lot of seating.
Yeah, it is popular for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I've been there, and it's a cool spot, a wealthy street there. So many other things to do around there. You know, if you got to do some shopping, even I think a couple of years ago I went and got a massage in that area, and then I had some coffee afterwards. It's just a good vibe there. So definitely go check that out. Leah, let's keep things rocking here. I feel like I'm getting caffeinated, you guys. You get it?
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
gosh.
go grab a cup of coffee after this.
I got it.
Go ahead, Leah.
Anyway. All right. So Sparrow's Coffee. This is one of my favorite. I'm going to say new locations because they do have a brand new location in the Kingsma Market up in Creston. I talk about Creston a lot. I go there a lot. I have a lot of friends up there. I know Creston very, very well, but the new Sparrows in the market is so cute. It is small, so get there quick, but So cute. It's cozy. It's a great place, and the Wealthy Street location too. This is one of my favorite coffee shops. I won't lie. It's a great place.
Wealthy Street location is super unique. I mean, you can get that old time. It's like you walk in, the floor is creaking. I mean, it's an old historic building. You know, it's got that old timey vibe to it. You know, whereas a lot of the other coffee shops we're talking about today are new, fresh, modern looking type coffee shops, whereas Sparrow is, you know, you're kind of taking a step back in time, which is a lot of fun.
That's kind of what I go for when I look for a place, is the coziness. So
Yeah.
yes.
Well, speaking of cozy, I'm going to talk about the Outside Coffee Company. So this is a really cool place that opened up a couple of years ago down on Wealthy Avenue and Wealthy Street. And it's just got an incredible outdoor feel to it, right? So you've got some really cool gardens, you've got some really cool seating. And then especially this time of year, you know, you'll get some fire pits, they'll get some fires going, and then they should be bringing out the igloos pretty soon, you know, so you can go enjoy coffee all year round and you can be outside, and it's just a great, great vibe. I've taken my kids there. They can get some hot chocolate. I get some coffee. You rent out a little igloo. I think that's a first come, first serve basis type of thing. But yeah, just a really good vibe. Have you guys been there, I'm assuming?
Oh yes, plenty of times. And then I do a little shopping.
Yeah.
Do a little
Yeah. So
shopping.
lots of shopping to do right in that little quarter there. So go check it out. These are 4 really great places. Katie, I mean, you being our coffee connoisseur, do you have any preference here? Talk to me about that.
On how I take my coffee or on
Well,
where to
no,
go, because I've lived all over the place. I love that, you know, there is consistency if you go to a bigger name, but I also love to support the like small local mom and pop shops or the companies that have started small and grown, like Madcap. I love to support those businesses. So I'll go to any of them. I'll go to all of them. I like to kind of bob around and go to all sorts of different places. But just because we're talking about it, I feel like we should share our coffee orders. Ross mentioned he likes the Cafe Miel. I love an Americano. If I'm getting it hot, I add a little bit of steamed oat milk. If I'm getting it cold, sometimes just a splash of oat milk or black.
Okay. Well, that's great. Leah, what's your favorite coffee?
My go-to is a dirty chai. But I have to get the almond milk or the oat milk. So yes, definitely. Yeah. Dirty chais all the way.
Okay. Ross, did you say you
I do like the Cafe Miel, but my go-to is the oat milk latte with either brown sugar or cinnamon.
Wow. Very, very
sprinkle on top, you know, a little pizzazz.
Very cool. Yeah. So Ross, I'm gonna not necessarily copy you, but I'm a latte guy myself with an extra shot or 2. If I'm gonna do it, it's going to be full of energy, and I'm usually going to put some oat milk in there also.
Just loads up those shots.
Yeah.
Just get
How
a cup.
caffeinated do you need to be?
Well, I just like to make sure it's really working. And I'd like to make it count. So yeah, these are all good choices. We got incredible places to go visit. We're happy that you guys tuned in today. Go drink some coffee. Enjoy your fall. This is the perfect time of year to enjoy a cup of coffee from any of these local establishments. And after you go hang out there, we'll let you guys get back to living in Grand Rapids. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast and share with your friends. You can find us on Instagram at MayGroupGR or online at marketgrandrapids.com.